You are listening to the Pencil and Paper Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Palace of Mega Pencils. This is Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo!
Well, hello and welcome to Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo. I'm your host, Stephen White. With me, as always, my co-host, Lacey Finley.
Oh, happy Monday.
I don't really feel like there's anything special going on this Monday of all days. Because, I remember last week we had some kind of, there was a holiday that people celebrated.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I mean, I had one that I celebrated that just happened to land around ones other people celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
I forget about it every year. How was it? How was it for y'all?
Yeah.
How was her Mother's Day? Katrina's.
So I've probably mentioned this before, but I never forget Mother's Day anymore, because it's funny because all of
you have to remember.
Oh yes, it's not because of anything that my wife or anybody has done. It's because when I was a teenager, a very stupid teenager, there was one year that my mom's birthday and Mother's Day fell on the same day, and I forgot.
Oof.
And I never forgot after that.
Well, it's like, did you have to do both?
Yeah, it was kind of
you had
like
to do a birthday gift and a Mother's Day gift. I'd be like, well, this is confusing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not my fault.
It's kind of like the people who get screwed being born on December 25th. It's just kind of like, that sucks for you, but like, what are we supposed to do?
Yeah, exactly. See, now, one of my daughters, her birthday is like right near Christmas. It's like 2 days before. So we always try to be like, okay, well, here's birthday and here's Christmas, because it's not fair, It
isn't. No, especially as a kid, you probably care more than when you do when you get older.
Sure.
But yeah, like, why does everyone get a birthday and Christmas? It's like, yeah, well, sorry. I guess that's kind of your mom and dad's fault.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
we should have timed you out better.
Yeah.
Yep, so that's their fault. Sorry about it. You got to talk to them.
I think the Hell's Angels are passing by the house. Jesus Christ. Anyway, speaking of birthdays, I wanted to bring this up because I thought this was kind of fun. And I don't know how you feel about this particular comedian, but I think everybody loves her. Carol Burnett had a 90th birthday special on NBC or Peacock or wherever you watch your shows or what have you. I happened to see it on there. Thought I'd give it a watch because I like Carol.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they kind of covered her career from like early days before she had her television show up to even like where she was on Better Call Saul. And so they covered the gamut, and it was a fun, like, I felt like I was smiling most of the show because
that's a lot of history to get to go over.
Yeah.
I mean, my gosh, she's been in entertainment for so long.
Mm-hmm. And just the people she's worked with, and the variety of people she's worked with. I think that's the other part of it too, is you see all these faces in the crowd, and you're like, oh my God, that person, that person. And it's not just funny people, but they're all great people. And I don't know, it was just
golden era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just, I think I got the most joy, obviously. This is just my personal opinion, but when they were talking about her actual show and Harvey Korman, Tim Conway, and Vicki Lawrence. Sorry, I don't know why I said Lewis. But just that whole cast and all the fun they had.
I was a huge Mama's Family fan when I was growing
up.
I always thought it was, I don't know what about it, I just thought it was so hilarious. And I knew that was a spinoff from like a skit that they had on Carol Burnett, but it was just, I don't know. I just thought it was so hilarious. They were so good together.
But it was just,
I feel like it holds up okay. I mean,
I think, well,
some misogyny maybe, but you
sure.
know, and that was just expected then. Well, of course we cooked. Of course we did this, you know, and then you're like,
yeah. I mean, yeah, you see those little things like that. I mean, there was one clip that they showed on there, and I feel like I'd seen this one not that long ago, but it were these moments that they continued to spotlight to kind of talk about, you know, how you'd see times where they'd break. And I've always heard that anytime you saw Harvey Korman and Tim Conway in the same sketch and Tim was just doing his shit, he was doing it to try and get Harvey to laugh because he knew he could make him break. So he would just he would stretch that shit out.
Kind of like Mulaney with Hader.
Yeah.
Just kept sliding in jokes that Hader would have never seen just to see if he can pull it.
Yeah. So it's that same kind of mindset. It's like, no, I'm gonna milk this and I'm gonna make him break. That kind of thing.
Sounds so terrible to do to someone, but I mean, who knows what friendship they had? You know?
Exactly. So, and there was a one clip that they showed, and I felt like this was one of those ad-libbed bits, and it was a Mama's Family sketch that they did, and I can't remember. Eunice, was that her name? Carol Burnett's character?
One of the kids, Eunice, yeah.
So she was sitting there complaining about something, and then, of course, Mama comes up behind her and is like, Eunice, sometimes I just don't understand, don't know about you. Sometimes I think your brain fell out. I think your pilot light went out or something like that. And she just, like, you could see Carol just kind of taken aback by the pilot light bit, and she's sitting there holding it, and she's trying not to break, but everyone's laughing. She's trying not to. And then she goes, "That's a new one, Mama."
Right.
Just trying to.
All right, Mama.
I don't know. It was a lovely 90 minutes. If you can squeeze out some time just to watch that, it's just nice to see her. And just, like I said, I was grinning the whole time. And it was a nice look back, you know.
Sure.
And
it never came across my eye holes, so I guess it's not on any service I have, so it was not aware it was on.
Well, like I said, Peacock.
I don't even know it's on regular TV anymore.
Perhaps if it might be on the NBC app. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd have to see if that, like, they don't have it for the PlayStation. And so, like, I think that's the reason why I haven't really been watching anything on NBC, because it doesn't have an app for the PlayStation. And we stopped using just the TV itself because it's only going to get updated so long, and then the hardware and the TV is just going to go, and I don't want to buy a new TV just because you don't know how to support the software on it anymore. So we just finally switched everything over to the PlayStation, because that'll constantly get updates for all the apps. And
that's good. I understand.
I wish they'd make an app for that, though. Like, if you want us to take your money, like, put it on all the things we would possibly use it on, you know, make it an app downloadable for Xbox, for PlayStation, for, I don't know. I'm sure some people still have, like, the Rokus or the whatevers, you know. And
don't make it a cheap app. Make it a good app. The one that I hate more than anything, and I just stopped. I got to a point where I was like, I don't give a damn to keep up with all my shows this bad. I will just wait until they wind up on Netflix, because I can't deal with it anymore. And it was a CW app. When like, we didn't have a place to watch, you know, all the Arrowverse shows, because that was kind of our bag at the time, and they eventually cut a deal with Netflix. So it's like, as the season ends, it'll drop about a week later. And once they decided to do that, I was like, you know what? I'll binge it when it comes out, because this app is horrible. And I can't do it anymore. I didn't actually
know they had an app. I always thought you had to go to the web browser, which was already terrible, because if it hung up, you were stuck in commercials over and over and over again. That's why I was like, what am I doing here?
That's
I was trying to finish Supernatural. It was the only thing you had left that I was trying to watch, and I had committed 15 years of my life at that point. So that was just a habit. I was like, I just have to finish the show. Yeah.
I think it was a Fire Stick or Fire TV app, and we tried it. And it just, like you said, just get hung up and loading. And no matter how good our service change, because I thought maybe once we got a better service, maybe it'll be better. No. The app is broken, so it's not.
Yeah, so I haven't bothered to watch anything on that in a very long time either. I don't know, most of them, like, I feel like they just can't understand how to create a more streamlined UI that doesn't make me feel like you hate me for using it. It's just really few and far between where I have a streaming service open up, I'm like, now this is a nice UI and streamlined and makes sense. No, it's usually all janky or you know. Closed captions won't go off the screen, even though we've turned them off several episodes ago.
Yeah.
What is that with HBO?
I don't know.
They never turn off, and then they're too big. Like they use font 50 or something. One word has to be split into 3 lines on the screen, and I'm like, I don't understand what you're doing. And I checked. I was like, is it me? Did I choose a large font, and I'm just not on a... I don't get it. Like, you're so broke at HBO. Well, I guess that's why you're losing the HBO, right? We're going to move it to Max.
Right. And that'll be on, that's tomorrow, matter of fact, if you're listening to this on Monday.
Is that already?
Yeah.
I knew it was coming up. Oh, crap. All right. Well, I guess we'll see tomorrow what it looks like.
The 23rd, baby, if you're excited for Max. And
I don't care. I just want to finish Barry, and then you can do whatever you need to do.
Right?
Like, after that, I'm fine with tapping out. No, I mean, HBO does have some good stuff I like to watch, but
they do.
As long as I can finish that one, then fine.
I'm still confused by the whole thing because it's about branding. And now
you're going to go to the brand nobody's heard of in like 20 years, really.
Yeah.
Well, at least me. I shouldn't say that. Maybe there's tons of Cinemax fans out there that I just haven't heard of in the last 20, 30 years. But ever since real cable came on, I only remember Cinemax when you were trying to like get it with the rabbit ears.
Yeah. But see, that's the thing.
For the naughty stuff, you know.
But like you said, I mean, it's one of those services or cable channels it still exists, but it was always
I didn't even know.
If you got the HBO package, you got it with it. So it's like, oh, okay, so it's a bundled deal. Kind of like with Showtime. If you got Showtime, you got the movie channel. It was always combined.
Oh, okay.
You never got... It was always
the other.
Yeah, it's like if you either get HBO or you get Showtime, and then you get that other movie channel with it. You can't have both unless you want to pay the extra.
That does sound right now.
Yeah.
You know, I was probably too little to really pay attention. Well, young, I wasn't having to pay my own bills yet. Teenager, you know, to pay attention that they were the same thing. You know, or owned from the same thing.
But I mean, I couldn't tell you. I remember at one point they had original programming on Max or Cinemax, but I couldn't tell you what it is.
Not even a little bit. No idea. I could not think of one thing off the top of my head that was on that channel.
Yeah.
Specifically for that channel.
I could think on it, but it's going to be a while, so I'm not going to do it.
I'd have to look it up and then go, oh, yeah, I've seen that. And then go, okay. Yeah.
I've heard of that, maybe. So...
Yeah.
Good luck to HBO Max or Max or whatever.
Max.
Fuck it is
going on there.
Just I don't know what to say about it, and I'm not gonna. So while we're on the subject, I do want to mention, because I'd watched some of this last week, is they dropped season 6 of Rick and Morty on HBO Max, and it's one of those that again I'll watch once everything just drops, and I'll kind of binge it and everything like that. And I always forget how sharp some of the jokes can be.
Sure.
Because they're so precise. It's not a broad joke. It's a very just honed in on something and taking a jab. And it cracks me up every time. There was a joke in one of the episodes, couldn't tell you which one right offhand, but it was a very specific joke talking about, I remember the episode because this is why it was made. Apparently, Rick and Morty got sucked into a video game, and all of Morty, it was a VR game, and all of Morty got split. His body or his whole person got split into all the NPCs in the game. So they're all confused and think that, or all of Morty thinks that they live in this world, and there's the grandpa, and he's trying to start a cult, and he's like, no, this is not a cult. I'm trying to get you out, and we've got to gather everybody together because you've been split up. And eventually it just starts to go awry. Things start to just fall apart. And he's like, you know what? It doesn't matter. He's like, let's just go. He says about 8% of you is being left behind. He's like, 8%? You don't think that's a big deal? And he's like, 8%? No, 8% is a very minimal amount. He said 8% of Batman versus Superman was Batman dreaming. Okay, it's insignificant. Doesn't matter. And I was like, oh my God, yes.
Yes.
So
yes,
a little jab like that.
Yeah.
And it's little things you don't.
Did you pay attention? Was there any Easter eggs for his actual video games?
No, I didn't catch it.
Because that's when you were like getting split up. He was the NPCs. If you think about it, he was the voice to pretty much everything in every game.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was kind of wondering. Now, I don't know if you played them all. I know I played Trover Saves the Universe in VR.
Yeah, I remember that.
I've not played the most recent one, though.
I haven't either.
That just came out. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. But yes.
But
anyway.
No, just little jabs. And that was just one I remembered. There were plenty more, but it was just... I love those little jokes. Just very surgical precision. I got that jab, and then I'm going to put it back.
And if it's set up very nicely, even more beautiful, other than trying to just get shoehorned in somewhere, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. So much respect to the writers on that show for just the shit that they come up with. And it's things you've never thought about, but then they shine a light on it in a joke, and you're just like, wow, that is so accurate. And you can't help but laugh. You're like, all right, awesome.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And lastly, I did want to make a movie recommendation. I was excited as hell to see this because I was a fan of the first movie, and I'd heard mixed things about this film, and I wanted to see it for myself, and I finally did because it finally dropped on Showtime. But Pearl, are you familiar with this movie? Have you heard of Pearl? Did you ever hear of
the jewel or like the name?
Like the name Pearl. Did you ever watch X?
X.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
You're saying things I don't understand right now.
Okay. This is a movie series.
Yeah.
Okay. X was a horror film of sorts that was the premise is that a film crew was going to go to a house out in the middle of, farmhouse out in the middle of wherever the fuck.
Okay.
And they're going to shoot a porno. But as they're there, things about the people who own the farm and the house and everything starts to unravel, and it just gets a little weird. And then, of course, people start to drop.
Sure.
So without saying too much, if you've never seen that, Pearl is a prequel to that.
Okay.
Set in the same farm. And one of the actresses from X plays the main character in this.
Okay.
And it's about her life. Now, I didn't go in having like any preconceived notions about what I wanted it to be or what I thought it should be. I saw the aesthetic, and it had like this very olden days, like 1920s, 1930s film. And I thought, okay.
Like that was the style they were going for inside the movie?
Kinda, yeah. Like even the credits have this, very 1930s way, because they just kind of scroll across the screen. They're kind of slanted and just like, it's Pearl.
Right, like someone's literally just holding a piece of paper and trying to go fast across a camera. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wasn't sure what to expect, but I was like, I'm anxious to see this film. I want to see it. And I have to say, definitely not what I expected, but in all the right ways, because by the end of the movie, I don't know if you were meant to think of the character as a bad person or however it was supposed to. I had sympathy on so many levels because of the way she was portrayed. I'm not going to condone anything she did, but you can't help but feel sympathy and just try to understand why she is the way she is, and just I don't know, it's hard because you're just like, Christ, man, I hate
it's like you get the reasons why all of the actions she's making, like it makes sense.
Yes.
Why.
Yeah.
It's not good. Probably should have gotten help so it didn't go to there, but
exactly.
I see why.
Yeah. So it was just a huge shout out to the actress Mia Goth, who she does a fantastic job. There was a scene in the movie, and it caught me off guard. And the more I was sitting there watching, I was like, how long are we going to stay on this? Because I'm intrigued. Yeah. But there was kind of a part toward the end where it's almost like a confession. Like she had a moment where she just needed to unload everything on her mind.
Okay.
And she starts in talking and just kind of says something, and then they kind of cut back to the person she's talking to, and she's like, well, it's all right. And then she's like, no, I just let me continue. They cut back. And I think this was like a 5-minute or longer shot of her just confessing. Did not cut. And I would sit there watching going, how long is this? And it wasn't like in a bad way, like, oh my God, will you hurry it up? I'm intrigued, but I'm also intrigued just like, how much longer can she keep this up? Because my God, this is amazing.
How much did you do? No.
Because it's just, she just like I said, none of it felt like she was repeating or just dragging it out. It was just, she was getting it all off her chest, but they never cut. And I'm just waiting for the cut because the more it continues to go on, it's like, you got to wonder what the face of the other person is looking like right now.
Right. Yeah.
And you're just waiting for them to cut to it. And it's like, nope, she's going to say that now. Oh shit. All right. Now the tables have turned because she's really went and said everything. Can't go back from this. And they're just keep going. You're like, oh my God. So kudos, man. Because if you can keep that scene going for that long and make it seem genuine, then fuck, hell yeah.
Good for you.
Because I was really impressed by that. And some of the other camera work and everything. I don't know. It was a fun time for what it was. I wouldn't even say that you need to watch X to really understand it, because I don't feel like the threads are. Oh
my gosh, I'm looking at it now, both in 2022.
Both
released in 2022.
Because what they did is, to my understanding, X was made and filmed, I think, pre-pandemic, and as the pandemic was getting ready to hit, they kind of shelved it for a moment. But they had the idea, or the director had the idea for this film. And it's very apparent, too, because it takes place in 1918, which was during the Spanish flu pandemic. So they worked that in where people are wearing masks. And it's like, don't bring that virus into our home. So there's little comments where you're just like, that's very timely. I get that.
We've done this before?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right.
So I think that was maybe like a seed that was maybe planted there, and it was like 1918. Okay, yeah, and we can kind of pull from and it just kind of worked from there. So he just wrote this out, thought it would be a fun idea, got the actress involved as well. She kind of helped craft it a little bit, so they kind of wrote it together. And like I said, it's very unique, and I understand that there are certain people out there who don't like it. But they love X, and I think it was maybe because, for me, I kind of compared it to my first experience with Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Vastly different films in tone. So I didn't care for part 2 the very first time I watched it, because I was like, the fuck? This is not like that. This is like, what is this? So if you're watching them back to back, you might be like, what is this?
Yeah, whiplash.
And it's not meant to be like that. There's a reason for the aesthetic, and I think it works. Even at the end, they did this. It was another one of those, let's see how long we can make this last. But it was just over the credits. And it was just her smiling, just... But it was a freeze frame. They just said, keep smiling. We're going to roll the credits right now. And it's like, how long are you going to torture this poor girl?
What's funny is probably that whole thing was for something else, because sometimes they'll just roll and do stuff. And then she's thinking, oh, they'll pull something from this, and then probably dude at editing room's like, but do you know how awesome this would be to just let the whole thing go? And then that's probably how it was born. I don't know it to be true.
Yeah.
But I think that's how we get a lot of those gems that we see that we think are outtakes. It's like, no, they were just doing a bunch of different kind of takes in one roll, and then we got this glorious bastard.
Yeah. If you've got Paramount Plus with Showtime or whatever,
well, I have Showtime.
Or if you've got Showtime, definitely check it out, because it's so unique. And it's, again, where I said X was kind of about a porno being kind of made, this isn't really about that. She just wants to, her dream is she imagines she's kind of stuck on her farm with her family, and I think her husband's off in the war, so she just feels trapped. And her one dream, she wants to be in pictures, you know. At the time, pictures are the big deal. And she's just got this big dream. I want to be in pictures. I just want to be in pictures so bad.
Yeah.
So that's kind of her hook. And then everything that
and
the
then
events,
how it always happens.
Yeah. The events that just kind of lead down everything. I don't know. It's just, I really enjoyed it. I really did.
Okay.
So I highly recommend it. And it's not, if you're not prone to gore, I wouldn't really call it all that gory. You know,
I'm pretty good about looking away if it's starting to get to be too much, where I'm just like, I don't need it that long. You know, I see what's going on. I get it. Most of the time, I just look at the hubs. I'm like, just tell me when we're good.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I don't.
It's too long.
Like I said, I wouldn't even consider it all that gory, to be honest. It was like a few.
Well, I made it through Evil Dead Rise. Then I should probably be
God,
fine.
yeah, you'll be fine. Absolutely
I mean, I did have to look away a couple of times on that one, where I was just like, okay, too much, too long. I get it. You know. Ow, but you know,
and you don't have to worry about any gratuitous sex scenes or anything like that.
Interesting, because of the first one.
Yeah,
I would expect all sorts of it.
Well, I will say there was one
horror and nudity, just kind of like we're born together, right? I don't know.
I mean, there's one scene in there where there is nudity, but there's a reason for it. It's not like, hey, we're just going to show tits. There's a reason.
Okay.
I'll just say that, and I'll leave it there. But nothing gratuitous, nothing just being like, hey, I'm going to show this to you because ha, 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 ha.
I find very, very many instances of those that I could have found any other way you could have done it, that it's never 100% necessary unless you're 100% making a porn, because that's the whole reason for watching it, is to see naked people doing things, you know? Outside of that, I'm like, nah, we could figure it out. I'm surprised you didn't want to talk about the D&D movie, though, with all of our sibling nerds here. Yeah. I hope everyone that listens watched the Dungeons and Dragons, because it was better than it had any right to be, and I was surprised.
Sure, yeah. No. But
like, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was just like a really just fun, good time.
I think that's credit to the writer and directors, who's it? John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein, I think is his name.
Sure.
I don't want to miscredit, but they're like, if you take a look at some of the funniest, just most enjoyable films that have come out within the last 10 years, their names are usually attached to it.
Okay.
Because, I mean, they're primarily writers. They've been doing some more, like they've gotten their hands into directing, but Jonathan Goldstein, yes, I did say it right.
Okay, you're right.
But they've got such a great chemistry. They understand that, like with Dungeons and Dragons, they're nerds at their core. They understand that, but they also understand how to do proper storytelling. So it's like they get everything just right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it was just the perfect balance. And of course, you had a really good cast that could put it to life too, which I wasn't sure of at first. I could take what's his name sometimes. I don't care.
Who's that?
Chris Pine.
Chris
Is
Pine?
That right?
Yeah, I mean,
there's
I like
a million Chris's, and I get them all confused because they all kind of look alike.
Mm-hmm.
In a sense, they're all like blonde with blue eyes or whatever. I'm like, okay, but yeah, I don't know. Just even the world around it. The creatures that just kind of, getting rodent. It was just really well done.
Yeah.
I don't know. I enjoyed it thoroughly, and it was hilarious in a lot of places that I wouldn't have expected it to be, and everyone just played off of each other very well. And of course, what's her name was just a tough chick, as she always is.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she's been typecast. Unless that's what she wants, then, you go do you. But I've always seen her be that woman.
No, I do. I know what you mean. I think they even made a joke in the Honest trailer about it. It's like Michelle Rodriguez as the tough woman, because that's who she is.
Michelle Rodriguez.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, it's true.
She does it really well. But yeah, unfortunately, I feel like or fortunately, I shouldn't speak for her. Maybe she loves it and it's great.
One movie of theirs, I did want to kind of mention that. One movie that they actually directed and wrote that I feel is a... Did they write it? I'm almost positive they wrote it, but maybe they just directed it. I'm looking at their filmography, so maybe I'm mistaken. Okay, well they directed it, goddammit. But it was I feel like it was an overlooked gem. Did you ever watch Game Night with Jason Bateman?
Not yet.
That's
we
them.
Want to. Okay, so yeah, why did we forget to go back to that? Is it still buy or rent?
I probably would find it on a streaming service by now. Where
Yeah,
you
okay.
can watch it.
I feel like we were going to. It was too late, and then because both of us can never remember anything that's not in front of us anymore, we probably would have remembered the next time we were searching for a movie. Yes, but we want to because I love Bateman. I know Bateman's always Bateman, but I love Bateman.
Yeah, no, he's amazing, and
yeah,
it's on Amazon Prime if you want to go watch it now. Not a sponsor.
Okay, that might have been where I've seen it then. But for sure, I know we were looking it up, and it was like too late whatever night we were going to by the time we did whatever. Anyway, I'm rambling.
Yeah, but like I said, same guys. Again, I think they're talented. I think they've got a great understanding of narrative. They understand the pop culture. They actually helped co-write the Spider-Man Homecoming. When he first came into the MCU, that was kind of them, so they understood what they were trying to do.
Interesting.
If you take a look at some of their filmography and writing credits and stuff like that, you'd be like,
I'll have to
yeah.
look them up then.
And,
I rarely go seek out the writers for stuff, and you know what? That would make sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the props, the actors bring it to life or whatever, but I mean, there was brilliant minds behind the words that are coming out of their mouths, and it would make sense that I would follow writers.
And just for a little trivia bit, because I think a lot of people would forget, if you've never seen the show, then you probably wouldn't know him at all. But if you ever watched the show Freaks and Geeks.
Very, very little. And it was so long ago now that I don't remember anybody.
I know. Everybody forgets about this poor show that was so good. But anyway, the main character.
Oh my God, look at all these people. Yeah.
The main kid in Freaks and Geeks, John Francis Daly, he's the guy that I just mentioned, part of the duo. So he went from being an actor to being a writer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right.
And they even did, I don't even know if you saw this, but when the movie came out.
That kid, now that I'm looking at his face, I'm like, I know this guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
But when the movie came out, they did a special preview trailer or whatever, and it was John Francis Daly and his two friends from Freaks and Geeks playing Dungeons and Dragons, but now grown up. And I wish I could remember their names right off the top of my head. And
Perfect.
I see their
No,
faces
I don't know.
clear as day, but I can't remember their names.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Sam
and
the guy with the
Sorry,
beard.
Let me see if I can look at Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah.
And then we'll see if I can.
The guy with the beard, and then his other
Martin Starr.
Martin Starr, thank you, and Sam. Is his
Levine.
name Sam Levine? Okay.
Okay, or Levine. Yeah,
Levine,
but, like,
Levine.
Neil Schreiber.
Okay.
Yes.
There you
Martin
go.
Starr, I know that guy too. Oh
Yeah.
my God, see, I just never remember people's names. As soon as I see their face, I'm like, oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
I've seen that person everywhere. Yeah.
that guy. Anyway, yeah.
All right, yeah.
Like they
The
say,
D&D movie was fun though.
Yeah,
I had a good time. I'd recommend it if you have Paramount Plus.
for sure.
We watched it the day it came out on the 16th, I guess was when it came out. It was just, I had a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or
I
just
recommend it.
rent it if you don't want to get Paramount Plus.
Or there's that too. It just,
whatever you want to
happened
do.
to finally land on a service we already, were subscribed to. So I was like, oh, fun. Yay. We don't have to go searching around other things or pay extra cash. We already put it in.
Mm-hmm. So,
Perfect.
what you been playing?
I have been playing Settlement Survival.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading some of the reviews for it, and they were like, if Banished and Frostpunk had a baby, and I was like, well, those are two games I love, and you just said things that make sense to me. I want to play this thing. And you know what? They were right, and I'm having a good time with it. It's hard, though. Not as hard as Frostpunk, because that was just, you were constantly in the brutal cold, and, it's just... stupid people wouldn't work fast enough to get your coal or your food, and constantly yelling at me. And I'm like, you know what, though? You have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only hitting a cursor. You've got to go to the thing and do it yourself, So you just have that back and forth here.
Right.
I'm not really the god you think I am. So it's Settlement Survival. It's the same thing, but we actually have seasons, and there are, obviously different tasks that you should do to make sure that your settlement keeps thriving. I haven't gotten past too much yet. Like, I'll get to a certain point where you hit that wall, of course, and then they all need clothes or something. And I'm like, oh, well, we didn't plan for this, did we? We didn't build a textile mill or anything. So I have like 60 people with no clothes on. I'm like, well, this is kind of funny, though. Because I've only got like 72 people total, you know, maybe in my settlement, like 30 kids. Like, Jesus, I don't know what they're doing. But it'll be like 30 kids in a season. Like, holy hell, you guys, come on, hold up. You know, I can only feed so many mouths right now with what we've got. And yeah, I have been just enjoying the crap out of it. But so far, nothing big has happened. So I think it's my chill game.
Okay.
I don't see that I'm going to have to be attacked for anything, or at least I don't think so. I saw on the timeline like maybe fires and disasters and things like that would happen, which hasn't happened to me yet, but I've also get trapped in that when it gets too screwy too early on for me that I just like constantly start over. I'm like, oh, I can do it better now that I know that's coming, or I can do it better, instead of just like suffering my way through the whole thing and letting it collapse. I'm just like, nope, we're going to start over. It's a disease I have with these types of games. I'll never just let the whole thing go down. I'm like, nope, we're starting over. We've got this figured out. So until I hit my next wall that I feel like I have to start over at. So now I know, I'm like, okay, we got you food. Got some of that going on. Everyone's hunting and doing all that. Now go get cotton. Go do it so we can make you some shirts, because once the immigrants come in, I don't know why they show up naked. I feel like they should show up with at least whatever on,
sure.
Right? Like, maybe I have to fix your clothes or give you new clothes. Sure, fine. But I had just finally gotten enough people where I had to elect a mayor. So, you know, now it's like a town, I guess, because we have a mayor. I don't know what he does. He gives like 20% boost on something. I can't remember which one I chose now. There was boost on like probably my crops and stuff like that, where the other one was for something where I'm like, well, that makes sense, but I don't know that I need that yet. Oh yeah, and I have to trade with other factions. I haven't gotten one up high enough to get the bonuses, but there's like 6 factions that I could ingratiate myself with a little bit more if I wanted to buy or trade from them, and I can get my caravan and send them out to there. I haven't gotten one unlocked yet. I keep trying to send them, but my God, it takes them like a year, my caravan, right? Because I don't know why. Maybe I have to upgrade stuff, but it'll be like 365 days or on trip. And I'm like, I just want to sell coal.
Right.
By the time I get there, we're all going to die. What do you mean? You know? So, that's going to be a slow go. I'm sure there's probably at some point something I'm supposed to be able to upgrade and they need like 7 people too. So you're like, it's asking a lot of my physical labor here to be gone for a year, which is a lot. I need a doctor. You guys wanted church. Go be a cleric. I didn't care about building you a church. You complained about wanting a church. Now you got a church, and now you need someone in it. All right. Like, you made this bed. One of you has to go preach now. Sorry. You bitched about wanting a clinic. One of you has to go be a doctor now. Sorry about it. You know what I mean? You wanted these things. Now you have to do these things and quit complaining at me. I can't we don't have AI yet in settlement survival. Okay. So you have to still go in there and do your own stuff and then quit yelling at me just because they die. I don't know what to do. Make more babies. Seems like every time I turn around, you guys got like 30 more babies coming out. And I'm like, what are we doing here?
Sure.
Then I had to build them a school. No adults to teach school, though. Like, the kids overtook the amount of adults, and I'm still not sure how that happened. I'm like, you could only have so many kids at once, right? Like, did all of you have triplets?
Yeah, unless somehow you...
I mean, I know back in the day you have like 30 in the hopes that you would have 2, right? Like, that was the idea. Sure. But like, they're not, I'm not having that issue in this game. They're just all growing up and like bitching they need their own house. And I'm like, well, I don't know why at 10 years old you think you need a house, but okay, we'll get you a house. Anyway, so that's what I've been playing this week is some settlement survival. And then maybe I'll make it far enough to unlock some of the other stuff and actually grow them out past, 28 adults and 40,000 children. It's just getting scary how they're overtaking. I don't know how it's happening. Something in the water that I'm not aware of. But yeah, what have you been playing?
Well, I kind of went back to Resident Evil 8. I honestly feel like I could beat it like any minute now if I would just continue to play. But I'll play it for a bit and I'm just like, okay, I'm done. I want to go back to Final Fantasy and then I'll come back to this and do that. So I've also been playing Final Fantasy 6 and oh man, I've got to talk about the opera because I got to the opera. Yeah. So everything that I was complaining, said that I wished that they would have done with this pixel remaster, kind of do it like Live Alive and put the extra shading and the little extra detail. That's what they did with this section. They put the time and effort to make this elaborate. Everything was so much more detailed than the rest of the game. The singing, I could understand them. They were singing.
It was actual words?
Yes, actual voices singing the words that you're hearing. And I remembered reading these, always kind of thinking, growing up, and it was like, how is this, like trying to hear it in my head. Like, where's the tone? How are you following the music? And now I've got it. I've heard it.
Yeah.
I've heard someone sing it. And I was like,
the patience.
Yeah.
30 years later, I'll know what it says or however old the game is. I don't know.
So it was kind of nice to finally have that moment, to actually hear the opera, to actually see it the way it should have been. And I don't know, it just...
Oh, good.
I was like, yes, this is amazing.
At least they didn't ruin it and make it worse, so...
And I don't know if I mentioned this last week or not. I can't remember because I don't remember where I was in the story, per se. So I don't think I brought this up, but there was a new feature that I found out that they added to this game, and oh my god, if I don't remember it from the original, which I don't, then all they've done is just make it even better. So in the game, you will find this material called Magicite. What you do with that is you can equip it to all your characters, and then for whatever piece of Magicite you have, you will earn, or you can learn spells through battles, kind of like experience. And then now those characters can learn those spells. So your characters can have those spells or they can have none. It's up to you. If you want to equip it to them, great. If not, don't worry about it. So it's however you want to grind that thing. If everybody wants to have magic, they can have magic. If you don't want them to,
you can do it.
It doesn't matter. So I've always been one, give everybody Magicite. That way everybody has magic. That way, if someone's down, someone has a spell just the same to back it up. And I just feel like it makes your party better, because you never have to worry about having that one person, oh, God, they don't have a cure spell or they don't have this spell. Everybody's
going to be the last one standing, of course. Yeah,
right. Yeah. Everybody's going to have a spell. I even got it in my head yesterday. I was in the middle of a fight and got slammed so hard by a character. And I was like, shit. And I was going for the potions. And I stopped and I was like, no, that guy has magic. And he's not using it, so cure your ass. Cure yourself. Save the potions, cure yourself. And
physician, heal thyself.
So little things like that. But what they did with the Magicite thing is you could always kind of track sort of in the other game, like how much farther you had to go, because certain spells, it's kind of grindy. So you'll get like AP points. So say if you get 4 for a fight or something like that, it will be 4 times whatever the growth level is. So if it says 10, you just got 40 points. So you're, 40% of the way there, and then maybe like 2 more fights, same thing, and then boom, you've learned the spell. The ones that are really hard are the ones that's like times 1. So
practice.
Yeah, for every one you've got to grind and grind and grind. It's fine. But now, or at least this is a feature I don't remember in the original game, I can keep track of who has learned what. They put a star beside the name. So if that character knows all the spells within that particular piece of Magicite, then I know I don't have to worry about them learning anything more from that or re-equipping it, and I can keep track of who knows what a lot easier, because I remember I always had to go through and just, okay, they don't know that, they don't know that, they don't know that. Now the little stars just make it so much easier, So now I know who knows what, and I can just move along with my day. And I'm just great. there we go.
Sit there and go through each one to see.
Oh my God, it's so much better.
Yeah, nice.
So, I'm getting through the game. I found myself doing a bit of grinding yesterday, but for good, I mean,
yeah, if you want to, if you're having fun.
I wanted to get everybody to learn all the spells, and the funny thing about this game is I have played this game so many times, yet I have forgotten so many little details, and I don't know how I've forgotten them. Maybe it's because it was a lot more of a complex narrative than 4.
Well, I don't know. It sounds very easy to me how you'd forget how many of them are there. How long was each game? How long ago did you play it?
Yeah.
The fact I remembered I even played it after this length of time would be good for me. There was a Final Fantasy VI.
And I think it was because it was not as straightforward, because there was a situation that I encountered in like yesterday when I was playing, where I went back to a town. This was like story beat. They were just like, go back to this town and, check on everybody. So when I went there, I looked at my items and I remembered I was still missing a chest in this area. And I thought, okay, let me go look around, because I know I've missed it somewhere and maybe I got to figure it out. And then I remember there was this one door that I went into and I couldn't reach the chest. And I thought, well, I'm going to go back in there and see if I can maybe get it now. Maybe something's changed. So I went in there, and as soon as I got in there, there was a pickpocket in there, and he was caught, and he was like, oh shit, I gotta go. And he took off, and I was like, I remember this dude. I gotta chase him. And then I started chasing the dude. And then we went up the mountain, and I thought, I remember this. What is it? Where's this going? There's something about this that's familiar, and I couldn't remember. And when I got to the top, he had a character that you can recruit, kind of at knife point, being like, don't move any closer. And I thought, I don't remember what I'm supposed to do, so I didn't move, and that was the right move.
Okay,
and
good.
Then they split, and then you're supposed to either go help one or the other, because if you help one, you get an item. If you help the other, you get a character. And I thought, well, I'm going to go help my friend here. I want the guy on my team.
Be like, that would be a tough one for me.
Yeah.
Like an item or a human.
Well, so that was one of those unexpected things that I had forgotten, and then when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. And then same with the area that I ended on. I remembered the town, but I couldn't remember all the details about how we got there, because the first time I came across it, I just kind of flew over there with my airship, and the people were like, I don't know you. I was like, oh, okay. I'm just going to get out of here, because no one would talk to me. And we come back later, and then everybody's a little bit more vocal, and I thought, okay, so I just came too early. That's what it was. It's fine. But
the news of you hasn't made it that far yet.
Yeah. So certain story beats happen, and then I was like, oh, God, I remember all this stuff. So it's just, it's fun how my brain has not, I've just forgotten so many little details, because it's such a big game. It's not as straightforward.
Yeah.
So anyway, maybe I'll beat both of these games in a couple of weeks. As I play them simultaneously, just a little here, a little there.
Good for you. Yeah.
But anyway, what do you got in the way of news?
We have a little bit to get through today. I think it's interesting that every once in a while we still have to keep having this, when is GTA 6 going to happen? And we love to speculate and listen and throw out rumors. So this rumor I saw floating around this week, it could be releasing supposedly as early as 2024. Well, early, I guess, is relative, right? How long have we been talking about it? So I guess in your mind, however long you think it should have been. Those yearly earnings reports that we constantly eavesdrop on. Well, in this case, they also made a press release with it. So, but Take-Two shared their predictions for upcoming fiscal years 25 and 26. So 2025 through 26. We understand the way the year works is why I wanted to tell you this. So it's like from April is when the next year for them starts. So from April to April is their fiscal. So the press release states that they've been prepping for the business to have a robust pipeline of games in fiscal 25 to release groundbreaking titles that they believe will set new standards in the industry, enable us to achieve over $8 billion in net bookings and $1 billion adjusted unrestricted cash flow. Corp's so sexy, right? Did you hear all that sexy bedroom talk right there?
So let me understand what I just heard you say. Am I to understand that they are saying they have a handful of games ready to go in whatever year, And
this
that they're
fiscal year 25. Yeah.
So for how long has it been? 10 years almost?
I think for 2007, I almost think, or 9. It was 7 or 9, I think, when 5 came out.
Yeah, well, all right, let's go farther back.
In front of a computer.
So for 15 years, they've been working on new games.
2013, I'm an idiot. Sorry. So 13. Yeah, so 10 years. 10 years.
Okay, so 10 years they've been working on a handful of groundbreaking titles that they are going to then unleash onto the world and then make billions upon billions of dollars. And they're that confident about it.
Which is why internet was like, well, what would take to have that would generate that kind of money? So I think it was just the internet sleuthing going 8 billion. Last year was like 5.3 billion with GTA 5 online. So I think the internet's going, well, GTA 6 would probably be the only thing that they would have in the pipeline that could generate that kind of cash flow. So it would have to, I guess, release sometime in 24 for their fiscal year 25 or however that cuts off, you know. So that's the reason why people are like, it's got to be GTA 6. That's literally all we heard was them saying, we've got this. We're going to make this kind of money. So the internet's like, well, it has to be GTA. Like, what else does Take-Two have that generates that kind of cash?
Right. So,
I mean, they shit on RDR, so
yeah,
they're online.
I agree with that line of thinking because what do you have? And plus, because like you said, that's the first name that comes to mind. So if you have, if they actually do have multiple games, what else do you have?
What are you doing? Yeah, what are you doing? I don't.
Are these?
I mean,
are these? Do they have all the games that have been rumored for decades? Just so Bully 2's in there.
We've just been waiting for year 2025 for all of this to come out. I don't know. I mean, their bookings in the last fiscal year was 5.3 billion, which was a record, but that was including Zynga, who contributed a large portion of that income that Take-Two acquired in the last year, you know, since they acquired them in the last year. So I think that could be correct. I mean, if you really are projecting that kind of cash, I mean, unless you all can remind me, I feel like that is that title that is collected. It's the reason why I think they're still going. For Christ's sake, that game's like, it's just a cash cow. It's a cash cow.
All right. So here's my only other thought that I'm going to throw out there about this. So with that thought in mind that they have this prediction, how littered with microtransactions do you expect that game to be?
Probably no more than it is already. I mean, to my understanding, you can get all these passes and, you know, I mean, for those who've been playing it forever now, I'm really not sure how much more there's left for you to accomplish unless it's just still having fun running around role-playing with friends, which is fair.
Role-playing? You know? No. Being assholes. I remember having to try that.
Some people, yes, you're right. Some people do grief pretty bad on there, which is another big reason why I, you know, never really was interested. Well, you know me. If other people can get in the way of my good time, I don't want to have.
Well, I never understood it. You know, you're on there to have fun, and then someone just comes in and is like, I'm going to fuck with you.
Some people think that's just hilarious. Why do you think there's prank shows? I don't get pranks either. I think you're just being really mean to an individual at some point throughout the day for other people to laugh at.
Yeah. I'm going to just mess with this person. I'm going to ruin their gaming experience so they hate this game, but then it's going to be more fun for me because I enjoy
content.
Just making...
Yeah. No, I mean, it's literally what it is. Like, if people didn't watch it and think it was hilarious, they wouldn't make that content. So here we are, you know? But yes, most of it that I saw just seemed to be major griefing, and you couldn't get anything done. But I feel like that was probably more to streamers, too, because everyone loves to just, like, screen snipe a streamer and go to wherever they are in these games and create havoc because no one had enough hugs. I don't know.
Right.
So anyway, they were trying to go, the article I was reading, you know, went to Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick to get a comment about whether this theory or anything is going around is true. And just wouldn't confirm or deny. So there's no official, at the time of this recording anyway, no official statement Strauss going, yep, that's right. Yep, you're good. I don't know. I think it could be potentially bigger because, I mean, look at today's hardware.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that personally, I'm in agreement. I can't think of anything else they would have that would generate that sort of cash.
Right.
And you got to take an inflation into account, I would imagine, in that as well, because they're going to be charging $70 for the game as opposed to it was $60 then, right? Or were we still $50? Like, I'm trying to remember where we've
I think we were in the 60 range at that point.
We were still in the 60 range? Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll be making $10 more per purchase, and then I mean, everything's just going to be more expensive on the storefronts, I would imagine. Anyway, what do you think, siblings? I feel like GTA 6 has to be the only thing that would be coming in the pipeline that would make them so confident that it's going to be like $8 billion net, We'll see. I guess we'll see next year if a game comes out or not. All right. Let's chat about this Mortal Kombat thing because I'm confused, but also elated, and I think I've kind of figured it out. But we were speculating last week. Of course, probably everybody who is in the know has already seen all of this, of course, especially if you follow Ed Boon. He's hilarious,
Right.
So we speculated last week. I was thinking a Mortal Kombat 1 reboot, right? Just from like the clock video that Ed had posted and everything that I had known at that time. So kinda, yeah, but it's like rebooting a new universe or a new storyline universe. Kind of starting over from, so this will be the origin story of whatever this next version of the universe they're going into. Am I understanding that correctly?
Correct. See, at the end of Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath, which was the DLC content that they added, if you remember in the last game, it was kind of a revolving around a time control, Chronos, I think.
I never
Cronus
did
or
the DLC, but
yeah,
the surrounding
time, changing time. So everybody was trying to get to her orb so they could remake reality however they wanted. That's what she was going to do. She was going to just disrupt the fabric of time and reset everything to whatever. So obviously at the end, Liu Kang wins. He becomes a god. Now he's like Raiden level status. Right. So now he is the new protector of Earthrealm. So that's where the narrative is kind of...
There's the fire god.
Right.
Liu Kang now, yeah.
So there was like a little stinger at the end of Aftermath where he comes in. You see like him at a Shaolin temple. And then he introduces himself to Kung Lao, from what I can remember, who was not the original, but the ancestor of the one that we are familiar with. And we've heard about him. Like, if you even go back to the original Mortal Kombat, they mention him in, like, the opening crawl of, like, 1,000 years ago. Kung Lao defeated Goro, yada, 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 in Mortal Kombat. Part of the story. Always has been. Right. So, my understanding is that's what we're doing here. So, we're still continuing that thread that we left off, but we are now
moving with that story.
Yeah. So, it's like we've reset. Now we're starting anew. Where do we go from here?
Okay.
Where it's still continuing a thread, but all brand new. None of that stuff ever happened. So it's what now?
What now? I mean, it looked interesting. I obviously watched the trailer and read their FAQ so I could try to get a little bit more understanding of what was going on here. And now I'm not going to remember all of the people who came from what, right? Like, that's just not going to be my bag. Milena, though, help me understand why she's there.
Well, yeah, I'm a little disappointed.
She was created by Shang something. Help me out.
Shang Tsung, Shao Kahn?
Yeah. And isn't he, like, not moving forward? So that's where I'm a little confused. Where does she come back? I don't know. I like her, don't get me wrong, but maybe they'll explain that. I don't know.
Well, again, first of all, Shang Tsung was in the trailer. Now, whether or not Shao Kahn is there, I don't know, because we do kind of see Adenia, I think is the name of the realm where Katana and Milena come from. So perhaps we could see maybe it's not in disarray. Maybe Shao Kahn has not been a thing. I don't know. Again,
I mean, we did see Katana too, right? So
yeah,
Kung Lao, Katana, Shang Tsung. Okay. So.
And I noticed, and I'm curious about this little detail as well, because something we mentioned last week, where we talked about multiple paths.
Yeah.
They kind of made it sound like that could be a thing.
Like a multiverse.
Did it not? Because it was,
I mean,
the way they didn't show it, but it was just like, what if this could become that? What if this could become that? And it was like, so are you saying that maybe we could? But I don't know. I don't want to assume, but
sure.
They made it sound like it's a possibility that you have a choice. And then we saw like our rivals being kind of friendly. So is that what we're doing here? Are we saying what if instead of this, that, or are you going to give us the option to make that choice?
Well, did they already kind of have an animated series sort of along the same thing? Is it this? Well, maybe not. Anyway, regardless,
doesn't matter.
I agree.
Yeah.
That I think, you know what? New story, new everything. Go for it. I think I'm just confused why we're saying one again.
Yeah,
like,
that's the part I didn't quite.
But like Mortal Kombat Beginnings, Mortal Kombat Universe, whatever you call it. What I mean, you do you. It's your thing, another realm. You do you. But I guess it was just like one. Feels like a reboot of like from the 90s.
Yeah, no, I mean, I will agree that the title seems a bit confusing. Now, I
without having watched the trailer, I was confused before I watched the trailer. I'm like, wait, what?
From a marketing perspective, even from a story perspective, I get maybe why you would say Mortal Kombat 1, because you're trying to say, you're not calling it just Mortal Kombat, you're saying Mortal Kombat 1. And that's very specific. So you're saying we're moving forward, but we're also going back. So
to one.
We're showing you we're going back and starting over, sort of. But saying 1 indicates a start over, but also a continuation in some ways. I know it's confusing, but...
Or they could have said 1.2, still been 12, 1.2, like a little play on that. I don't know. Yeah.
But like you said, I mean, there could have been maybe a subtitle like Beginnings or something like that. It probably would have worked a little bit better, maybe.
If it's a good game and a good story, it won't even matter. But I was just a little like, why? And to actually put the 1 there. So, you know, we've always just said 1 because there was more. You know, it was always just Mortal Kombat. And then Mortal Kombat 2 and 3 and on and on and on. You know, so when you're actually saying 1, I'm like, well, I guess that'll set it apart.
Yeah. I will admit, though, that this will not be a day 1 purchase for me or a pre-order, because...
I actually had it written there. What do we say about pre-orders with Mortal Kombat, Steven?
Don't do it. Okay?
I have that written there.
I paid double what anybody could buy it for today. Okay? Even when they put out the entire... Because what did they do? There was like some DLC package they brought out halfway through and was like, get the Mortal Kombat 11 extended expansion pack, blah, blah, blah. And you can get it now for $60. And it was like, now, wait a second, dude. I just paid well over 60 and got that. And these people can buy it now for 60? And I was like, yep. And then what did they do later? They brought out a new pack of shit. And it was like, now you can get all this, the ultimate Mortal Kombat 11.
And all the characters.
Every character, story, cost, everything. Ultimate package, the complete package for $60. And it was like, dude.
Yeah.
I've paid double.
Yeah.
What do I get? Nothing.
You
paved the way.
Know early on you were getting it.
Yeah. It was
you
like,
paid for the peace of mind, Steven.
So.
But yeah.
Just be aware, you could be fucked over too. So if you want to be an early adopter, if you can't wait, go for it. But I'm just going to say you're going to be paying more in the long run.
Give it just give it a beat. I mean, I think I've learned that with most AAA now. If I just wait a couple of months, I'll probably already pay half off. So not going to do it. Well, anyway, MK releases supposedly, if they hold on to this release window, September 19th. So I love the announcement versus the amount of time we have to wait for the release. Perfect timing. Again, if they can hold on to that date. So I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to this one. I would love to see a new story. So the new story mode is supposed to have new cinematics, new details, online, offline modes, which I still always kind of find hilarious because, of course, you need internet to ever play any game ever because you're never going to go to the store and buy it physically and bring it home ready to play. You have the rest of the game to still download. So having offline mode once you've gotten the whole game, sure. But to try to make it sound like you don't ever need internet is very disingenuous. Let's be real. I can't remember the last time I bought a physical game ready to pop in and play.
Sure.
It's been decades, I'm sure. So getting developed for all platforms, at least. I saw Steam and Epic for the PC version. Then, of course, you know, all of the other platforms it'll be coming on to. And as we were just talking about, if you want to do the pre-order bonuses, you can. And then you'll get to play the game as early as September 14th, the whole 5 days early. So, and then the boys did just do a tweet with a Homelander gift. So I think that might be confirmed. I mean, the boys' characters and MK universe is kind of a marriage in heaven. No, like,
I'm not going to dispute it. I won't because he would be so perfect.
Sense. And I mean, Homelander. Yeah, come on, this makes sense to me.
If you really take a look at their roster of characters, they are very much DC inspired characters because Superman is Homelander.
Oh, for sure.
What's her name? The
boys? Yeah, all of them are like some mock-up of some OG. Yeah, because I mean, Aquaman, what's his name? That loves his squids.
The Fish Boy.
Fish Boy. What would
the Flash is...
oh, yes, the speed guy, Train.
A-Train.
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 Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're all a knockoff.
And then Maeve is Wonder Woman.
For sure, through and through.
So,
why can't I think of what she would be, the chick with the light? Because I kind of find her powers extremely freaking boring, but whatever. We're going to make her a star, I guess, but I think she's kind of dull.
Yeah.
And I feel like she proved it in the last season's episode where, oh God, she's racing up. Something really cool is going to happen. And the lights go out and she falls. Like, what was that? What was that? What good are you?
Yeah.
What use is your powers? Whatever, anyway. So all in all, what do we think? I don't know. I guess just keep a look on it. I didn't see any like special figurines or anything with pre-order bonuses, which is the only thing where I'm kind of like, okay, I kind of get why people want to pre-order. You get those statuettes or figurines that you wouldn't normally be able to get, and
sure.
If you're a collector, then sure, but if it's just to get to play it a little early, I mean, you do you. If that's, you earn your own money, you spend it how you want, but to me it's just like, wait like 5 days, you'll be fine. I don't know about this, man. Let's see here. Yes, I'm a little excited. Sony announced a PlayStation blog post that they're going to have an hour-long PS Plus showcase this Wednesday, the 24th, which I wasn't expecting because we were talking about their big one that's supposed to be happening, I think, September-ish or whatever, focusing on games and PSVR 2. So I'm kind of excited. Games? That's what I want to see. So the 24th, 2 p.m. Central, you do the math, 1 Pacific, 3 Eastern, whatever it is for you, wherever you live. So it starts right when it takes my lunch. So I won't be able to finish it, but at least I'll get to start it. So that's going to be fun for me. I don't know what to expect fully, but it's promising to show games that are in development from their top studios, a glimpse into several new creations that are supposedly happening at PlayStation, some third parties as well. I don't know. Do you think we're going to hear about The Last of Us multiplayer that I didn't think really needed to happen, but everybody still wants really badly?
Anything's possible. I don't want to speculate. Anything's possible. I think, if anything, Spider-Man has to be shown. Okay?
I was thinking Spider-Man 2 has to have something in there.
Because I know that's been a point of contention here recently, almost to the point where it's like, okay, you've announced this. Isn't it supposed to be coming out here pretty soon? And yet we've seen nothing but this one teaser trailer. And you know what? Respect. Don't show
Don't spoil
a
it.
bunch of shit that if you're not ready, don't show it. And I know they have, but that was an announcement trailer, and I'll give them that. Beyond that, if it's not ready, I don't want to see it.
Yeah, leave it.
Show me the big trailer when the game, if you are absolutely sure it's going to be out this year, then show me.
Yeah.
If you are not, I don't want to see it because I don't want that hype. I don't want that excitement.
No, that's fair.
You know what I mean?
That's fair. Yeah. Because like, don't bring it up and then 2028, it's like, Jesus, I'm going to, we'll be on other things by then.
Because for me, that will be a day one, 100%. I hate that I'm like that, but I love Spider-Man. The last game was amazing, and I can't help it.
Do you, man?
I will be there.
Do you?
I will be
like
there.
I said, this is why we work.
Yeah.
To spend money on things we want. That's fine. When I die, I can't take the money with me. Screw it. Spend it on what I want now if I can. You know?
I mean, that game, the original game did not fuck me over. They weren't just like, well, we're going to shell this out. And, if you want to pay. Because you remember what did we have last time? The kerfuffle over costumes.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like the costumes were the big...
And Insomniac was so kind to just be like, here's a new costume for you. Here's a new costume for you. We got you. Here's a new costume. And then what did people do? Why is there no Tobey Maguire Spider-Man costume?
You can't give anybody anything nice, then they feel entitled to the rest of the field.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then what did they do?
Yeah.
What did they do? They were like, you know what? We were going to save this for a but here, y'all are complaining, you're bitching, take it. And I was just like, you know what? Fuck all y'all.
Yeah.
They were trying to do something
I don't
nice.
understand that mentality with humans. I mean, I'm sure I've done it myself too. You just get so used to getting a thing that all of a sudden you're like, well, why isn't it like this now? You know? I mean, it's just a very privileged position humans have put themselves in if this is what ruins our day. It means we're living life pretty good, right? If that's what's ruining our day. I
didn't understand the
it is sad that they wanted to do something very nice to surprise the fandom, and they had to ruin it themselves by just being a bunch of negative Nancys who, for whatever reason, felt like they were entitled to have this thing already. Yeah. And they didn't have to give him any new costumes. Just play the freaking game in the costume he came with and call it a day. That's all they owed you.
Yeah. I would have... I think when it happened, I was like, you know what? I wouldn't have released it. I'd have said, no, we're going to scrap this. You're going to have to wait to get this costume. Kiss my ass.
We might drop it in Spider-Man 2 now. Maybe. No, that would have been that. But yeah. We'll see. Hopefully. We'll see. I liked those two, to be fair, because like I love the story-rich narrative games like that. So one time through was still always a lot of fun for me. I don't need to go back to it. But that's whatever it is.
Just talking about it, I want to go swing through New York right now.
That is the thing to go back to, though, right? Like that's what I want to do as well, or just like fall as far as I can. It swoop up again. Like that stuff's kind of fun because you can't do that anywhere else, right? So I don't know. I'm excited for this one because usually we just get shorter state of plays. So I'm hopeful this will be super fun with lots of fun games to see because, man, we just might have a good Sony year. Honestly, Xbox, sorry about it. I'm not doing this as a dig, but like they're pushing through here. Pushing through here.
It's time they bring their A game because right now they don't have anything.
Yeah, Phil knows. He's hopefully back there going, all right, guys, let's finish buying the rest of them so nobody has it. No, anyway, I'm joking, but I mean, kind of. Shout out to Tears of the Kingdom selling 10 million copies in 3 days. 3 days. I have also seen people speedrunning it already in just under 90 minutes.
Which I don't understand. How in the shit?
It's just, well, I mean, the way this one seems to be set up, and the most, because I've heard nothing but good things from people who love these games. So very well deserved. But the way people were talking about in Breath of the Wild, how you can manipulate certain objects or play these puzzles or whatever, that a lot of the gamers were like, man, it would be cool though if we could play with this physics or this physics. And then to my understanding, this game was like, all right, here's the physics you wanted. So even when I was watching the trailer, remember when I said that they were able to like morph themselves on top of the mountain or do this, that, or the other? I'm like, yes, all of that sounds cool. Well, apparently they did that and then more. It was like the way a lot of gamers described it was like they watched everyone's playthrough, took notes, and went, I can let you do that. I can let you do that. So good for you. And good for those who are enjoying it. Because, like, that's all I ever want to hear is really good stuff about it. So grats on Link for the win. You were owed a win, right?
I apparently did not pay attention to any trailers that came out for that because I watched Donkey play, his bits. Of course, he's just kind of fucking around with it. But still, I was curious. And the things he was doing, I did not know that this was a feature in the game. Like building vehicles and contraptions. And I was
building some long ass bridges too from like one to the next. They were just like, you want to do it? Do it. And I'm like, that's...
Yeah, it was just, I was like, I didn't pay attention to the trailers because I didn't know this was part of the game, but all right. And I'll get around to it maybe.
Give it a deeper look. But I mean, I just assumed it wasn't going to be for me because I know, I didn't care for Breath of the Wild. I know. So I just assumed it wouldn't be for me. And I'm still not totally sold that it would be for me, but a lot of the stuff that they added, let's just say if I was in the room with somebody who already had it, I'd mess with it.
Yeah.
How's that? I don't feel the need to go buy it myself just yet. But, which kind of leads me into the next story, which I found kind of hilarious. So, GameStop staff at Michigan all walked out and quit for poor working conditions on the day that Tears of the Kingdom released. Like if there was any time you were going to do it to really shove it up, to your management, that would have been they're already in the red.
Yeah.
And you probably, any GameStop would need that one day of big sales. But there was just a note posted on the door that just said, unfortunately, due to poor working conditions, the staff of the Brighton GameStop have decided to resign effective immediately. Management overworks, underpays, and underappreciates its frontline workers, sets unrealistic expectations, and constantly threatens termination for any employee that cannot exceed them.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm like, I was glad to hear it was just a quit and not a protest, because in my head I'm going, what do you think they're going to do? They've been barely staying above water as it is for many years. If you are in a GameStop that's even still open, that's already kind of a rarity, right? Because they've been closing 400 stores per year there for a bit. So some places like for this game even had lines around the block. So to, close a GameStop at all on a day like that. Now, as I further read, apparently they did stay open for the midnight release. So it sounds like, I don't know if in between that midnight release and whenever they were supposed to open the next morning, that all the staff said, screw it, we're not coming back. But at least some of the gamers, if you went at the midnight release, which I didn't know they really did anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe it was just another hiatus thing once we got through the Rona or whatever, because like maybe it kills you more after midnight. I don't know. We had a lot of weird rules. Anyway, so they opted out for that shift, and apparently about 3 hours later they found enough people from other stuff to come in and get the store open for the day. But yeah, okay. I mean, I don't think they're gonna pay competitively ever, so I'm just, unless something really huge happens to where all of a sudden GameStop's just rolling in money, I wouldn't expect to get raises or anything there. And it's not that you don't deserve it.
Yeah.
They're just not going to do it. They're not really making any money. So, I mean, if you love the games, you love where you're at, you love your family, stick with it, But if you're like trying to just go in there and apply it today,
So I do have a question to ask because I haven't really thought about this in a while. Are there any other game stores still operating?
I was wondering that too, because I feel like KB Games and everything's been gone for a while too. As far as brick and mortar locations, I wonder. It's been a long time since I've even bothered to. And I mean, still to this day, I prefer to go buy the physical copy for the consoles, even though I'm 100% aware that I'm not getting a full game.
Sure.
That's the only area where I still will, but now I don't play the console nearly as much anymore, and the Hubs has been okay with digital purchases, so I don't know. The convenience of just hitting that button right there really gets people.
Yeah. I'm probably one of the biggest digital buyers because why wouldn't I don't have to go out to the store. And I understand that there's some issues behind that because we've talked about the they could just remove them and then the game will die and then
Yeah.
you'll never see it again. I get it. Yeah. But for me, it's just simplistic. You know, if it's cheap and you're saying I can have it right now. Click.
There it is. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Even like I just did a quick Google search, and of course it was trying to scour Chicago because, you know, my Google's used to trying to look in that area. It looks like I have a Prism Games in Chicago also on Milwaukee. And then, but that doesn't sound like a chain of any kind. And Quality, the gaming store, which I think that might actually be.
Did you say quality or quality?
Koalaty.
So koala tea.
Did I say that right? Quality?
Koala.
Like quality? Yeah, I thought it was supposed to be a cute play on that.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I heard you correctly. Fuck that. Go ahead.
Anyway, that's the name of their store. It's Quality. So yeah, it looks like even okay. So I feel like if I'm not seeing a lot of choices in a third largest city in the States, I don't know what that means for the rest of y'all, but you could have more. I don't know. Go to podunk places. They probably have more physical retail stores because, you know, AT&T is not going to give you internet for Christ's sake. So you got to do something.
Well, this is a David question. We know this.
That's true. How many physical stores are there?
That are not GameStop.
That are not GameStop. That's true. That are not GameStop. That's a good point.
I mean, I wouldn't even count, like, I know in all fairness, Walmart, Target, Kmart,
sort of, though. Those sections
Best Buy,
been super small now.
But exactly. They've always been kind of, I'm talking about like a store meant for video games.
I can't imagine how it would thrive anymore.
I don't either.
Because, like, that was how I shopped for it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't know what was out. I went to Best Buy or one of the stores and I wandered. You looked at box art. You read the description. You took a chance.
Game rentals,
or at least I did as a PC gamer. Console, you might have had more to look through. But, like, no. I was just remember going to Best Buy and just like, which one looks interesting? Turn it over, read it. All right, this is the one I'm going to try today. Knowing full well I'm not going to get a refund on it if I hate it, you know. But it's just how it was. It's just how it was. Ah, well, we'll see. But yeah, I'm just hoping for those that are still working there. Like, I know you deserve the raises, but you're probably not going to get it.
No.
Probably not going to get it. All right. So this didn't shock me too terribly much knowing the person involved, but we got a new character that'll be coming to Dead by Daylight in the form of Nick Cage. However he is going to be. Could it be just Nick Cage? Maybe. The costume looked like it might be Renfield, but he didn't look like a vampire. I don't know. It's Nick Cage. He likes cash. So he's going to do what he's going to do. But more will be revealed on July 5th, you know. But, you know, Behavior has a lot of stuff going on, which if you kind of tie all this together, it could be in that Dead by Daylight universe because there's 2 spinoffs in this universe that's being created behind the scenes. So Supermassive is reportedly on one of them, which is still in early development, which could be interesting. I like the way they do their games. The project they're working on, of course, is a single-player narrative-driven horror, as they do, which is fine. They do it well. Keep giving it to me with the branching storytelling. And they say, of course, that their signature life or death choices will be a big part of this upcoming adventure. And the game will be set beyond the entity's realm and takes a new cast of characters outside of the fog's reach for an unprecedented experience. Nick, is this you?
Why not?
I mean, putting him in a supermassive version of this makes a lot of sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
And he could just be in Dead by Daylight. Maybe I'm just trying to reach too far. They said Dead by Daylight, more on July 5th. Maybe I'm just doing all these gymnastics to try to make it make sense. But to me, that makes the most sense for me in my head.
What if it's all of it?
Could be. Maybe he's all of it.
Yeah, they could have just said
overarching enemy now. Enemy.
Enemy. They got him and they said, "What? We will just use you for everything dead." And he's like, "Sure, whatever."
Yeah.
Let's do
How
it.
much you got?
Because
I imagine the money they have too to be throwing at Nick and
sure,
all this kind of stuff. You know, I know they paid Bruce too, but like, I mean, he's said he's a sellout for a very long time, so that made sense to me also. But
I mean, I know the big question was like Nick Cage. How fucking random is that? But is it?
Is it though? Like, Nick likes cash. That's my point.
He's kind of a character in and of himself at this point. So him being in the game, Dead by Daylight, that alone, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Why wouldn't it?
Right? Like, of course, Nick Cage would be in that. Why wouldn't he? I mean, has he been in video games yet? I should look at that outside of like maybe a Fast and Furious. That was the one he was in, right? Wait, no. Which one? Which Speed one was he in with Angelina Jolie? As Reigns, I think. Shit. I'm in front of an internet thing here. Hold on. Okay, Nick Cage movies. I wish my brain worked better.
I just feel like Drive Angry.
I mean, it's probably something like that, but I know it was shit, could have been 20 years ago now for all I know, because like I think I might have still went to the theater to see it, and the last time I went to the theater, and I'm hoping that I was like riffing enough time to keep scrolling and got in 60 seconds.
Hey, there you go.
There we go. I was like, as Reigns, it was funny I could remember his last name, but that was it in the movie. But what was my point?
Nick Cage.
It took me so long to remember what the movie was. I forgot why I was trying to remember what it was. But
Nick Cage video games. Has he been in a video game? I don't
yeah.
know.
My point was like maybe there was a Gone in 60 Seconds video game where it's like you're literally just playing the movie that they adapted or something. But
why not?
I don't know if he's been in any other ones. I was trying to look here. Like, does they say video game? Does anything say video game? Voice acting for that? No. So this could be the first one for all I can tell, according to the IMDb's. I don't know. I'm going to say that. Not like there's anything I have writing on anything. But my guess is going to be maybe he'll be announced in the Supermassive Behavior Dead by Daylight universe. That'll be my guess because it makes the most sense. But he could just be a regular character. I just can't see him as a survivor. And maybe he's a killer, but like for what? What's his power?
No, I see him being
changing
a survivor.
into all of his characters. Like, would that be his power? He's got a lot.
I think
some were evil. I mean, it would be kind of funny if you changed into like Face Off, you know, or like so. John Travolta for a minute, or what was the one, the Rock or whatever with Sean Connery?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's so many.
Good Speed or something like that.
A Ghost Rider, come on, Ghost Rider coming in to kill you or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but then that's Marvel legal, and that loops in some other stuff. So
maybe he'll be Fireman or something like.
The Flaming Skull, who's not
he was
Ghost
something
Rider.
Called Matchstick Men. Like, we've got all sorts of fire going on here. We could do this. Anyway, they've also got a movie in the works, just to mention. Recent movies, which I think we were kind of saw back in January. They were talking about it, but it is a Dead by Daylight movie adaptation, which is working at Blumhouse. Mm-hmm. They're the ones doing this. They're responsible for the other horror films, of course, like Get Out and Megan. So maybe that's a natural collab as well. I don't know. I feel like it was March or February maybe that I kind of heard about it, but I didn't take much stock into it. I didn't think they were serious maybe. I don't know. They have all sorts of iconic horror people in their game. So good job, Behavior. I mean, Dead by Daylight's great. And when I first started playing it, and I don't play it regularly, but years ago, I thought it was fun. Never would I have thought it would still be to this day putting out new stuff. Honestly, just by the nature of what it was. I just thought, this will be fun for a couple of years and it'll probably fall off. You've proven me wrong, and good job. Yeah. For a small team like that to keep doing it. To put in Nick Cage, July 5th. We're gonna have to see what that's all about. July 5th. And then outside of that, that's probably good. The other thing, I don't really feel like chatting about anymore. I'm kind of editing on the fly. Let's send it there because that's a good high. And that's pretty much all the news. Because, I mean, we've just blizzarded it to death. We know what's going on. They suck. They killed Overwatch 2. It's now Overwatch 1, but shinier. There you go.
I mean,
I actually did talk to my boss who plays Overwatch. Because I was like, is there even any reason for 2 now? And he goes, well, it is more polished. It does run a little bit nicer and everything. He goes, but yeah, it is kind of the same game. And I'm like, I want to talk to somebody who's playing it. Like, what was the reason for 2? Now that there's no PvE or the hero mode or the god mode or whatever it was that they were going to do, that hadn't been in other games, So, I don't know. Sorry about it. Sorry. Blizzard gonna Blizzard. Yeah. Although, supposedly BlizzCon's coming back. So, I guess I should mention that. So, supposedly this year, November 2023, November 3rd and 4th to be exact. First one since the Rona. we'll have to wonder how this will go. Honestly,
Oh, yeah.
with all the stuff that's happened there, I'm curious. I hope it's streamed.
Yeah.
Because they've had some interesting controversy at BlizzCons in the past already. All of this stuff that happened has been since. If you remember, the last BlizzCon, I think, was still the China controversy with the protests.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Was that the last one?
I think so, yeah.
And then we had all of this shit happen. And then the buyout happened. And then, I'm surprised they're going to put themselves physically in front of people is all I'm going to say. But what you got for us today?
I'm surprised you didn't bring up, we don't have to go into great detail about this because there's not a lot to talk about, but Five Nights at Freddy's got a little teaser trailer. The movie.
Yeah, I didn't really watch it. I saw it was coming around. I like Matthew Lillard and all. I guess I'm having a hard time, getting excited for the movie. Maybe I should watch the trailer and see if they actually put a story to it. I just can't imagine what we're going to be doing.
I'm not the audience for it in the sense of, I was never a fan of the games. I played the first one or two, and I was like, all right, I got it.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of just jump scare.
Just the concept alone, it was clever enough, but it gets old quick. So I'm
to
good.
me, I was like, showbiz gone bad. Woo! That's what I thought. And then I saw it, and I'm like, no, maybe not.
So I'm intrigued, and like you said, you got some decent actors in there. So I'm just like, all right,
right.
But I would like to see more. They gave you just a taste, and it was like, well, I want a full trailer so I can see what I'm kind of in for. Mm-hmm. But I like the vibe, and we'll see. Okay.
I'll go watch it then. Yeah. I think I saw it and just kind of skipped over it looking for something more interesting for my eyeballs. But yeah, who knows? It might be one of those that I just watch when it comes to one of my streaming services for free. If I
Yeah, no, I'm not going to the theater.
Unless somebody tells me it's actually legitimately good, in which case I'll eat my crow. If I go watch it and I'm like, oh my God, this was freaking cinematic history right here. I'll tell you I was wrong.
Maybe I'll take it in as a double feature at the drive-in or something. I don't know.
There you go. I miss the drive-ins. Yeah. Anywho.
Anyway.
Yes.
You know what? I was feeling a little nostalgic because I was trying to think of something to do. And for one more time, okay? We're going to do this one more time. And then I'm going to put it to bed.
Okay.
But we're going to play the game.
It's kind of fitting to play again. Interesting. Oh my God, this has been so long.
Yeah.
It's been so long. I wonder if I remember how to play.
Because I thought, why not? It'd be fun. It'd be fun. Okay, so your first game. You must take care of a class of kindergartners who are as adorable as they are unruly. However, for some reason, the developer has chosen to classify 5-year-olds as babies.
Okay.
Just keep that in mind.
Toddlers. Gotcha.
So I'm bringing this up so you don't get confused when I kind of refer to them as, when it sounds like they're babies. Okay?
Okay.
So honestly, I don't think the developer even knows what kids are or that
Never
he knows.
Seen one. Yeah, no.
Anything. Anyway, so where am I at? Oh, anyway, do your best to maintain order by entertaining the kids with toys, bringing them food for mealtime, and changing them when they make a mess of caca in their Pampers. See, I understand that there's still some kids at 5 who have accidents, but they're saying you're changing their diapers, not their underwear.
That shouldn't be regular. Yeah, maybe developers not seen a child.
I don't. Just a hunch. Anyway.
Yeah.
Your mission is to satiate the kids. You must complete these tasks in timely manners, as crying will result in a score reset. So you're being scored. And you don't have to do it alone. You can have help with a radio-controlled vacuum robot that will clean up behind you if you want that. You can get your hands on a useful teleporter that helps you get around faster.
Nice.
You can use maracas to calm down the most aggressive youngsters.
Oh, yeah.
For some reason.
I'm always calmer when somebody's shaking something in my face.
Yeah. And now keep in mind, These kids may act tough, but in all honesty, they just need a little tender love and care. But do watch yourself around the biters, okay? Because there are biters. If things get overwhelming, you can always bring up to 3 extra friends to play a multiplayer. Because you all want to babysit together or do whatever you're doing. Because it sounds like babysitting. As
teenagers, right? Like, as soon as they left, like, my friends are coming over.
Or are you a teacher? We don't know.
I don't know.
We could
be 10 for all I know. A 10-year-old doing all of this.
Your journey will bring you to many different environments with vibrant art and music. Again, still don't think this guy understands what a classroom is or a daycare. Because it's supposed to be kindergartners, but you're moving.
I want to see this so
I don't know. Visit places around the world, even time travel. This is kindergarten. Anyway,
kindergarten. Nice.
Make your way through clever and original levels, earn loads of points, unlock new stages, features, and encounter special babies with mysterious powers. This is a nuts game.
Yeah, it is.
Should your mission succeed, you will become the best babysitter in the universe. Again, we're all over the place.
We're everywhere.
Are you a teacher? Are you a babysitter? Are these kids? Are they babies? I don't know. So... Is this game Kindergarten Chaos, Baby Storm, All Hail Daycare, or God Tier Babysitter?
Oh, man. Steven, you're always too good at this. I don't know. Let's go with 3 because it's the most ridiculous one, and I just kind of love it.
All Hail Daycare?
All Hail Daycare, yeah.
The correct answer is Baby Storm.
Ah, boo.
Again,
these developers need to talk to you first.
Yeah, they don't know what a baby or a kindergartner is. You can't say they're in kindergarten, but then treat them like
Maybe AI
babies.
wrote the game.
Maybe. I didn't think about it. Anything's possible.
True.
All right. Your next game is about a friendly bearded caveman named Uga, because that's clever, who is just trying to live his best caveman life. Unfortunately, the desire is cut short when a group of bandits abduct Uga's grandfather. What's his name?
Muga?
Yep.
Yes.
They kidnap his grandfather, Booga, for ransom. Now, my question here is, what do cavemen have of value that would warrant a ransom? I don't know. Oil? Tar? I don't know. Anyway.
Is this Steven or the game? Because I was like, I don't know.
This is me asking.
Stone axe, that's really great. And the other tribe doesn't know how to make tools yet. So they're just going to steal them, maybe.
You know what? Great. Someone invented the wheel, and they're taking his...
They want the wheel.
There you go. This is about the man who invented the wheel. The caveman that invented the wheel. Thank you. Okay. There we go. That's all I needed.
I'm adding context.
Anyway, set out onto the primordial lands of Sandela, facing hurdles such as dangerous dinosaurs, wild monsters, deadly traps, and more. Now, you're going to collect coins along the way and trade them at various shops. Because
man, I've already worked in an economy. I would have held off on that shit.
Right. I mean, this is caveman times.
Right.
You can get stronger weapons to crush your enemies because,
crush your enemies. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Currency and caveman times and whatever. Jump, climb, and dodge your way through 50 levels, which seems extreme, of 16-bit platforming nostalgia to dismantle the den of bandit cavemen and finally free Uga's beloved grandfather.
Okay.
Is this Caveman Ransom, Uga Booga Rescue, Barbarian versus the Bandits, or Way of the Club?
I feel like I'm going to go between A and B, but I really like the Ooga Booga Rescue. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go with that. I think that was B.
Answer is A, Caveman Ransom.
Damn. I was trying to give him a little too much credit. I'm like, that one's a little more cute. So let's go with that.
It's fine.
I see. I need to stop. I'm falling back into my old trap. Remember, if it's too good, Lace, it's probably Steven's.
Perhaps.
I should remember that, but sometimes you're too good at blending them together.
I'm sorry. I have to make it challenging.
No, that's fair.
All
That's
right.
fair.
Now, your next game... God damn this game. Anyway, this next game follows the story of a clown that used to be the only clown at the circus that made balloon animals for kids.
Okay.
But then one day everything changed. You see, the circus, don't know how they managed this, but the circus decided to create a balloon animal factory.
Okay.
To create twice as many balloon animals that damn clown ever could.
Man, getting automated out as a clown.
That's
even.
right.
Jeez.
I mean, come on. What is the world coming to? But you see, the clown, he warned them, because I just felt it coming on, so I had to go there. The clown warned them not to build the factory, stating that it would only end as disaster. Did they listen?
No.
Oh, they didn't listen. Like any good prophecy made by a clown, it came true with things quickly barreling out of control thanks to AI software in control of the factory.
Oh, so it is AI.
And what do you think the AI did? Well, it chose world domination
Oh, but
above balloon animals. Who wouldn't?
right.
So, who knew that
AI created balloon animals that took over the world.
Right. I mean, who knew that creating balloon animals and world domination were so comparable?
I mean, that just goes to prove AI, once it goes rogue, it doesn't matter what you made it for.
Mm-hmm. It's always
Sentient.
gonna want to rule.
Always gonna want the rule of the world.
Anyway, it's up to you. Well, it's up to the clown, the only clown brave enough to face this threat, to use his trusty hammer, even though sharp objects would make more sense.
I was just gonna say, why not attack?
Just saying, yeah. To smash all the balloon animals and destroy this AI to ultimately save the circus and I guess the world as well.
Probably.
Is this A? I haven't been giving you letters, so I figured I'd start now.
It's just like first one, second one. I don't know.
Is this A, Crazy the Clown's Balloon Animal Massacre? B, Looney Larry's Den of Beastie Balloons? C, Charlie the Clown and the Circus of World Domination? Or D, Trickster's Terrifying Hammer?
I don't like that one. Not that it matters, but the Trickster's terrifying one. Oh man, these are all too good, Steven. It is probably Trickster terrifying them because the other three are actually so good. Crazy the Clown and the Balloon Massacre or whatever. I had to write some of it down because I knew I was never going to frickin' remember. Yes, I know it's only 10 seconds worth of me having to listen. Looney Larry's Den of what?
Beastie Balloons.
Beastie Balloons. Like, come on. Charlie the Clown and World Domination. Man, oof. You made this one too hard. And I feel like, all right, I'm going to do the Trickster one just because it's the one I don't like. And I'm going to try to go with that, and you're smiling, which means I'm probably wrong. But fuck it. I'm going to go with D because I like it the least, and usually they're not as good at naming as you are.
The answer is A, Crazy the Clown's Balloon Animal Massacre.
Dang. All right. Props to them for that one. That was actually good. That was good.
Yeah, that's what caught my eye. I thought, all right, this is a bizarre name for a game.
Yeah, when you hear those words put together, I'd probably take a closer look myself.
All right.
Man, AI balloon taking over the world.
Your next game, you play as a small, hungry fish, taking on the entire sea. Which sea? I don't know. They didn't say.
Oh, okay.
So, swim through a variety of different areas in the sea.
Okay.
Which sea, I don't know, but you're going there. And you're going to prey on smaller fish. So you must not be a very small fish if you can prey on even smaller fish.
Sure.
Because they didn't say plankton, they didn't say algae, they just said you're a fish that preys on smaller fish. But as you prey on the smaller fish, you will then get larger. Yeah. And then you can prey on bigger, smaller fish because you're not small anymore. You're big.
Now I'm regular size fish.
Right. And then eventually you can get larger and larger, and then you can explore even more areas, and maybe, perhaps, you make your way out into the ocean. Which ocean?
What?
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah,
There's 4 of them.
where
Take your
could
pick.
be?
As you explore, discover submerged maps because you're a fish that can read, and test your knowledge on marine life, and then you get rewarded for progress points for correct answers.
So, like, going as a school of fish.
This is good. Now continue on devouring fish, and soon you will become the apex predator of this ocean. This game sounds oddly familiar, just going to say.
Man-eater, maybe?
Is this game A, Jaws Evolution, B, Gordon, a whale of an adventure,
Okay, that's kind of cute, though.
C, Man-Eater Redo, or...
I was going to say I like it, but maybe not, because I feel like that would be you. Anyway, go ahead. Or D. Or what is D?
Or D, Jeff the Hungry Fish.
I feel like it's so going to be Jeff the Hungry Fish, because it's just so freaking generic. It's great. And then what was the first one? Because there was 2 that was basically just like eating the fish, right?
Jaws Evolution.
Oh, yeah. No, that's too good. Let's go with D, Jeff the Hungry Fish.
The answer is D, Jeff the Hungry Fish. You got one.
Just my process of elimination. I'll finally get to one. So that's 1 out of 5, 4. I don't know.
You've done,
which is about right.
Yeah, you're still on track. You're good.
I'm still where I would normally be in this game.
All right, next game. You will find yourself in a drink shop. Several drink shops, in fact.
Oh.
Now, your job is to make customers' drinks as accurately as possible according to their needs.
I don't want to bartend again.
Now, what kind of drinks? Well, coffee, tea, milk. I didn't know you could mix milk, but I guess chocolate, strawberries.
White Russians?
White Russians, yeah, good point. Soda, just to name a few. Now, as you make drinks, you will need to take orders from customers so you can make the drinks. Then you prepare the materials and make the cups, which is weird.
What?
Yeah. Then you have to manage the inventory, track purchases, avoid capital shortages, and control the mounting pressure on top of all that.
So work,
yeah. You also need to clean the store, respond to reviews, and then also deal with the Municipal Supervision Bureau. If it seems overwhelming, welcome to work.
yeah, right? Like, this is called owning a bar.
Right. But you know what? You can always bring a friend along if you need to.
True. Oh, can you? Is this multiplayer
multiplayer, 2-player.
Like an Overcooked, kind of? Maybe?
Yeah, kind of.
All right.
In that same vein. So, is this game...
Okay. Betty's Beer Bar. Final answer. Great game. But that was the original bartender game. Anyway.
A, Everybody's Thirsty.
Okay, sure.
B, Feed the Cups. C, Drink Shop Disaster. Or D, Soda Jerk-Offs.
God, I wanted to be D so hard. I just feel like that's too good. I feel like that's too good to be the Dav. You're too good for them. I think B. What? Bar something?
Feed the Cups.
Feed the Cups, because you said we had to make the cups and all that kind of stuff. So maybe it's something as dumb as Feed the Cups. So Feed the Cups.
The answer is B. Feed the Cups. You got 2.
Hey,
all right.
I got 2 in a row even.
Yeah.
What?
All right. You're doing great.
On a roll now. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Master of this game.
Let's see if you can break even here. So your final game is a game about your dad
Oh, no.
running around in jorts, slaying enemies with a claymore.
I already kind of love it.
Now, why is your dad doing this?
Oh.
Because, like anyone with a sword, he's on a quest to explore dungeons.
Of course.
Looking for the legendary Infinity Nut.
Oh, dear. Good God.
Dad,
I don't need to know about the nut you're looking for.
I'm assuming we're talking peanuts or something to that, but you never know. Use your sword to dynamically slice enemies, such as the juicy hot dog monsters, or dismember other enemies, such as the dreaded anti-dad. Wouldn't that be mom? Just kind of saying.
I don't know. Or stepdad, maybe.
Or maybe I'm offending somebody by saying that. I don't know.
It's not dad though.
It's not dad. It's anti-dad. So, hey, Christopher Titus had a thing about anti-dad. I remember that. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Oh.
Now, it's not about hacking and slashing in this first-person slashing experience. It's not a shooter. Okay. It's a slasher. Get it?
It's a slasher, right, with his sword and jorts. Yeah.
You have randomly generated dungeons because, I love that. You can
like your random generated.
You can outsmart your enemies by using various dad accessories, such as
I hope it's puns.
Such as the mighty air horn.
Okay.
The magically growing bowling ball. The superpowered lawnmower. Nice. Or even the enchanted dad shoes.
So, is it like the socks and sandals?
Probably. I would assume. Or the ones that look like moccasins.
Right. Like the Crocs or whatever.
Use all of this to gain advantages, expose and destroy weak points, and slice your enemies apart. But don't forget to take various breaks at dad altars, where you can gain character-modifying dad perks, better known as Dirks.
Oh, dear.
You can even unlock new dad types, each with their own ability and styles of jorts.
Okay, yeah.
And before
the source of the power.
And before you even get started, create your dad using groundbreaking 100% infallible IRL paternity test creation.
Okay.
Get ready for a litany of dad puns in this game described as Dark Messiah meets Skyward Sword meets your dad meets Spelunky.
That's a lot of games you're pulling from right there. Okay. The Spelunky got me.
So, is this game A, The Legend of Jorts, B, Slay the Sire,
too good,
C, Dad by the Sword,
ooh, I like that one too,
or D, Papa Claymore?
Ooh. It's probably the first one because that was my least favorite again. If I keep going with going against my favorite, because that was Legend of the Jorts. Yeah, like the others were fun. That's why. Oh, this is tough. I don't think it's B or C. Those were too cute and too great. Screw it. I'm going with A. Legend of Jorts.
The answer is C, Dad by the Sword.
Really? All right. Well, then, congratulations. I love the name.
Yeah. So it's not bad.
I actually want to look up all of these games right now, or at least the dad one for sure.
I whittled them down because as usual, the way I do the game is I'll look for titles that just stand out. And then I'll kind of go from there. Now, I eliminated quite a few early on because the title sounded good, and then when I looked into it, it was like some pornographic visual novel, and I was like, oh, okay, no.
Those are usually funny, though.
They can be.
I'll give them a look. Give them a look, because sometimes, I know, whatever, this might be a little telling or whatever, but sometimes there's actual gameplay involved that's kind of fun.
Okay. I mean, I'm not saying I'm being like a prude about it.
I ran a hotel.
Yeah.
And the scenes were whatever they were.
Sure.
It was fine.
Like I said, I wasn't being a prude about it or anything. It was just when I would look into them, I was just like, well, I can't.
That one.
There's nothing I can do with this. You're just saying it's a visual novel about
visual novel.
banging a furry cat or something like that. And I'm just like,
oh, sure.
I don't really know how I can expand
I don't know what
upon
I'll
that.
do with that. Yeah.
So
I don't know how to make that sound better, worse. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
So,
no.
But yeah, you did good. What 3? Well, no, 2.
I think I got 2 out of 6.
2 out of 6. All right. Well,
about normal.
Good job. You did great.
I think that's.
At least you got 2.
I did at least get 2. Yes.
You've never had
not a goose egg.
You've never had like a complete shutout, which good.
I don't think I ever have.
No.
Never.
I've
probably gotten like only 1 or something. So if I get more than 1, I'm like, okay, this was my day. You know?
And I don't feel like I gave you the it was, I didn't set out to give you an easy one or anything. I just.
No, you didn't. I had to think this time. I had to think. Of course, you picked some that actually, I guess, already had kind of a funny name. So that was smart on your part, though.
Yes.
Because I would have assumed it was you if it's too clever.
No. I mean,
anyway.
we may do this again in the future. I don't know.
Games are fun. That's what we do, right? Games are fun. Yeah. I like playing games. You're better at it, though. Every time I panicked when I had to like put together name that game. I had to panic. I was like, he's going to guess every time. I'm not as good as him. Okay. And I think I screwed you over like once. And I was like, woohoo!
Woohoo!
You know?
But I love doing this, though.
Yeah, no. And I like playing them. So see, it works out. It works out. Excellent. That's our show.
Woo.
I think that's our show. Hit us up sometime on Twitter at Super Mega Crash. Head on over to Instagram to view the weekly icon art Steven puts his time and love into. You can send us an email to supermegacrash@gmail.com. And you can support the show by liking and leaving reviews on your preferred podcast app and even going to patreon.com/pencil and paper productions. If you want more than just podcasts, head on over to youtube.com/pencil and paper productions for more. We're getting great at Discord. Make us better. Join us. Links are in the description below. Thank you for listening. I'm Lacey Finley.
I'm Stephen White.
And you could join us again next time, Super Mega Crash siblings. But until then,
game on.
This has been a Pencil and Paper Podcast Network production.